Hello, welcome back. Captain Let's Dance here, and this is my 100 subscriber special. Seems kind of silly, but I thought for this very early milestone that I would do a little video just to say thanks for the 100 of you that have subscribed and the folks that view my videos. This has been fun to just kind of play around with talking about Legos and Lego Star Wars and Star Wars. So, I just want everyone to know that I appreciate the views, and 100 is not a lot in these days of people have tens of millions of subscribers, but for me it's just I like talking about Star Wars, I like Legos, I like sharing that with other people and being part of the community. So it's a real pleasure to be able to share that with you folks. So I just wanted to say thank you for your support. Thanks for watching. And in honor of that, I wanted to share kind of a off-the-cuff video that I've been thinking about doing for a long time, which is just sets that I don't want to necessarily say my white whales, but sets that I really like / want to see redone in the future that I think deserve a remake, or just, things that are just things that I just like, sets that I think are cool. So, alright, so first on my list of sets that I enjoy / want to see remade again / wish I just had is the Ghost from Rebels, of course. I think the 2014 version looks great the way it is. It is getting a remake, but I think there's really nothing wrong with that older version. It would be great to see some more interior space, even like a full interior, or give it the UCS treatment. The one thing that is super lacking on this set is the Phantom. You could buy it separately, or there was a 2-pack that had them included. And of course there's both Phantom, the Phantom 1 and Phantom 2, and they look absolutely ridiculous when they are attached to the Ghost because of the scale. Now, if you look up mocks of the Ghost, you can see that folks have made a minifig scale or closer to minifig scale Ghost, and it's just massive. So I can see why that's difficult for Lego to kind of wrap their head around, especially when the Phantom is supposed to be able to fit, it's like a small shuttle. There's 3 or 4 people could fit in there. So thinking about the scale of that, how big the Ghost would have to be to accommodate a Phantom like that, of that size. So I get it where there's difficulty there. Personally, for 2023, I would like to see a Phantom that's to scale with the Ghost rather than minifig scale. To me, that's going to be more important than can I fit 1 or 2 minifigs in the Ghost. Call me crazy. I know that kind of takes that out as a play feature, but I'd rather see like a small, like midi scale Phantom rather than have to deal with some huge bulbousy Phantom sticking out of the back of the Ghost and just having it not work. It's almost half the size when it's really just supposed to be like an escape pod, a shuttle, just a little landing craft that's attached to it. But otherwise, I just really love the Ghost design. Of course, it's in that family of the Corellian, it's in that family of Millennium Falcon, Corellian engineering kind of design, but really taking a swing at something completely different with the bubble turret on top, the turret on the bottom. Of course, like with the Phantom and the Ghost, just narratively having people be able to go off and have their own little adventures. I just think it's a really cool, homey ship. It really fits the vibe for Rebels of we have this small family unit all living out of this one ship and carrying out their missions here on this kind of freighter / attack ship. It's personally just a really cool design, and I think it translates to Lego really well, and they did a really good job with their first run in 2014 with it. Next on my list, in no particular order, is the Detective 4. I would say one of the most media. Really sweet design. Cade Runner. And it just, to me, it just screams classic Star Wars. 3 times before, 2001, 2009, and 2019. It's definitely due for a UCS down. That wasn't that long ago, but big scale, especially right now with audiences, and I think that particular design is more adult for all the reasons I mentioned. It's very just a great looking design. Just engine select, it's just such a classic Star Wars futuristic audiences. UCS next one is kind of a weird one. It's Rebel Combat Frigate, which are class frigate, I think. This is just a special frigate. It's not a super iconic ship, but for me, this is just, it's kind of a personal thing of, I really like this design. I think it looks really cool, and it's something that I've always wanted to grab. So moving on, next is the Lambda class shuttle, which is, we've had 4 varieties of, probably doesn't need to be made again. 2001, 2005, 2015, and 2021. 2021 saw a smaller, more affordable one. I think it was $70 with just a couple minifigs. Going into this modern ideology of let's make smaller, cheaper sets so everybody can have one, which I've said before, I'm totally about. I think, you know, an X-Wing, a TIE Fighter, you know, an affordable Millennium Falcon, just having those. Not everything needs to be the biggest $800, $1,000 set. Like, I think that's the wrong way to go. Personally, I love just the way the Lambda shuttle looks. It just screams Imperial to me. It's got those smooth lines. It fits in so well, like flying next to TIE Fighters. I love the way the wings fold up. It's just a really cool design for a ship that, you know, we see a lot of, and that's referenced in how many times we've seen a set. Could they do better than the 2015? You know, 8 years later, yeah, they probably could come up with a better looking UCS Lambda shuttle. I don't necessarily think we need one, other than not having to pay for a retired set. To have something on the shelves would be nice, but, you know, personally, just from my perspective, I think it's a really cool looking ship, pretty easy to translate into Lego. I wish the one that came out in 2021 was better, a little bigger, and a little more accurate with the lines, especially on the nose, but otherwise I think any of the Lambdas are great builds, and I'd love to pick one up one day. Last on my list of just whatever this is, white whales slash sets that I like, is the Clone Z95. It came out in 2013. Of course, it has the Pong Krell minifig that everybody loves, the man we love to hate. I think this either make a remake or go for an actual Z95, not a clone version. You'll notice they are a little different, and this has always had a special place in my heart as an older Star Wars fan, knowing that a Z95 was a precursor to the X-Wing, and thinking about how Star Wars has this, especially the original trilogy, is this kind of used grungy future, and to think that it was even grungier in the past. Of like, the Z95 is a little ugly looking, it's got that hump in the back, you know, it's not nearly as sleek and smooth and kind of sexy as the X-Wing is. So to me, it's a really good representation of taking something like the X-Wing and thinking about what would it look like one step back from that. More utilitarian, a little grungier looking, and you know, just kind of used, lived in. It's that aesthetic that we didn't really get in the prequels, whereas thinking about a precursor to the X-Wing being something like an ARC 170 or something, which is like a vastly different starship and just fits a different role. The design aesthetic is a little similar, but like for the most part, you know, that's what we're led to believe is, you know, the precursor to an X-Wing. Whereas a Z95 fits in that role a lot better. So either remaking the clone one that we see in a few different episodes, or just making an actual Z95, a non-clone version of something from pre-original trilogy. You know, this is, I don't know if other people have this kind of affinity for the Z95 the way I do. You know, I remember reading it in one of the Star Wars books. I think it was Han Solo at Star's End, which is one of the very really early Star Wars novels, and you know, expanding my idea of what like the expanded universe would end up being, where, you know, when we only had 3 movies out and the EU was kind of being born, and it was us in our imaginations thinking about what would a precursor to an X-Wing look like, or what were things like, you know, before the original trilogy. So again, you know, it says classic Star Wars to me, even though it's not an iconic ship in any way. You never see it in a film. It's something that I love to see the clone one remade, or just see a Z95 get made at some point. Fun fact too is that the image of the Z95 that you're seeing here is what's used on the Wikipedia page for something that's not up to date. So, you know, it's synonymous with like, this is old tech. And, you know, I just think that's just a really cool idea of making the Star Wars universe seem more real, seem more lived in. And I think the Z95 is a really good representation of that. All right, folks, so that's all I have. Thanks for listening to my list of favorite sets I want remade, sets I just want to have that are great the way they are. Thanks again for your support, for watching, for subscribing. If you're new here, go ahead and subscribe, and we'll do another one of these at 1,000 maybe. But thanks so much. Take care, everyone, and may the Force be with you.